Okay, this is probably one of my favorite poems, and so I hope you were able to listen to it on the YouTube video and hear it in the Scottish brogue, because that's the way that the school children in Britain and Ireland heard this poem. Now, as it said in the PowerPoint, this is all about oral tradition, and kids used to memorize this. So if you think you've got it bad memorizing stuff now, imagine having to do this or the Raven. Anyway, I want to kind of walk you through this, and on your poem, you can make annotations as necessary. But looking at this, "O young Lochinvar is come out of the west, through all the wide border his steed is the best." When you're talking about the border, or you're talking about the west, you're talking about Scotland. This is how you know that this is where he's coming from. Now, one of the things I want you to keep in mind in general is that Lochinvar is a knight. Now, girls, this is going to be a little bit easier for you to think about. But I want you to imagine the hottest guy, the most buff. We're talking, this guy will make you swoon. Here is Lochinvar. He is your knight in shining armor. Look at the way they describe him. And save his good broadsword, he weapons had none. I want you to think about this gigantic sword. But Lochinvar is out here in the wilds of Scotland. There is no police, there's nobody out there to protect you. He's so awesome, he doesn't need protection. That's how great he is. He has a sword. No knives stuck in his boots, nothing else. And so it shows you how capable he is. It even says he rode all unarmed and he rode all alone. Here you go. Again, he is so amazing and so capable of taking care of himself that nobody is going to even try to mess with him. Now, I think in 7th grade you read The Highwayman, and you learned a little bit about the history of that, how people didn't go on roads all by themselves because they were afraid somebody would rob them or kill them. Well, Lochinvar, he makes everybody else afraid because he is that amazing. Look even what it says. So faithful in love and so dauntless in war, never was knight like young Lochinvar. Again, this is every girl's dream. He's completely faithful to the girl that he loves. Dauntless, he is unafraid. There is not a cowardly bone in his body. And so that's why they describe him like this. This is the stuff of legends. And most likely, Sir Walter Scott heard a Scottish legend from the idea of Lochinvar, and that's why he wrote it. Now you go down to the next stanza. He stayed not for brake, and he stopped not for stone. This is how he's trying to ride across the countryside, all right? He swam the Esk River where ford there was none. So he's out in the middle of this raging river, just swimming all the way across. He didn't try to find a place where, the water wasn't rushing away. It was kind of smooth. He's swimming right across the worst part. But look what it says here. But ere he alighted at Netherby gate, the bride had consented. The gallant came late. Here's where you get your conflict. Netherby is the home of the beautiful fair Ellen. Lochinvar is in love with her. But look what happens. Before he got there, before he alighted, that means before he arrived, the bride had consented. He was late. So what happened? She married somebody else. For a laggard in love and a dastard in war was to wed the fair Ellen of brave Lochinvar. Uh-oh. Here's the issue. Remember, we're talking about a time very, very long ago. And who made the decision about who the girl married? Not her. It was her daddy. Now, this is a situation where her dad is probably a lord. He's probably titled. He has lots of property. Here we have Netherby. It's probably a castle. Well, you know what? He wants to make an eligible match for his daughter. He's not worried about who she's in love with. He's worried about, hey, what works best for me? So he marries her to someone else. Does he know that she also loves Lochinvar? Yep. Does he care? Nope. So look at this, a laggard in love. Look at the way that guy's described. He's not a catch. So ladies, if you've been thinking about the hottest guy like Channing Tatum, now think about the wimpiest guy, because that's who this beautiful girl had to marry. Now, look what happens, though, when Lochinvar gets there. So boldly he entered the Netherby hall, among bridesmen and kinsmen and brothers and all. Lochinvar, this knight in shining armor, is so sure of himself, he busts in on the reception. He doesn't care. He walks in, swaggers around the room, kind of waving, nodding at people. But look what happens. Uh-oh. Then spoke the bride's father, his hand on his sword. Right here, he's expecting trouble. Imagine this guy just standing there with his hand on his sword. Uh-oh. But look at this, for the poor craven bridegroom said never a word. The guy that she had to marry, he's hiding in the corner. He knows who Lochinvar is, and he knows that Lochinvar is far better than him. So he's afraid. So here's what Dad says. "O come ye in peace here, or come ye in war, or to dance at our bridal, young Lord Lochinvar?" Basically, why are you here? Are you here in peace? Are you here to start a fight? Are you just here to celebrate, be a part of the party? Well, Lochinvar, he's got to watch what he's doing. Look at what he says. "I long wooed your daughter, my suit you denied." Look, he's like, "Sir, I asked to marry her. I told you I loved her. I told you I wanted to spend my life with her. And what did you say? No." But now look what he says. And you have to decide, do you believe he's really saying this? Does he mean it? "Love swells like the Solway, but ebbs like its tide." The Solway is a river, and it's a tidal river. So it's kind of like love gets swollen and big and, exciting. And then guess what? It goes away. So Lochinvar has come in here to Ellen's wedding at her reception because she's already married. And her dad confronts him and he's like, "You know what? I liked her. I wanted to marry her, but you said no." Love comes, love goes. And now look what he says his purpose is. "And now I am come with this lost love of mine to lead but one measure, drink one cup of wine." I'm just here to have a dance. I'm going to dance with her. I'm going to drink a glass of wine. We're good. Everybody's happy. But look at his parting shot. Guys, would you say this to an ex-girlfriend's dad? "There are maidens in Scotland more lovely by far, that would gladly be bride to the young Lochinvar." It's like, bam, all of a sudden, she's a beautiful girl. I wanted her, but there's a lot more women out there who would love to be my bride. I don't have to worry about somebody that doesn't want to marry me. So basically, he comes in here strutting with so much egotism because he's that sure of himself, and he should be because he is pretty amazing. And here's this beautiful Ellen. So guys, this is your chance. Picture this beautiful girl, and she's already married. There's nothing he can do. But then he comes in and he insults her to her father's face. So that kind of gets you thinking a little bit. What is he up to? He's trying to tell her that I have no interest in her. Do you believe him? Do you think he doesn't like her anymore? Well, anyway, Ellen has seen him, has come over. She's brought him a glass of wine because he did say he wanted to have a cup of wine. The bride kissed the goblet. The knight took it up. He quaffed off the wine and threw down the cup. So she's got him this glass of wine. She's kissing the goblet. She hands it to him. He's looking in her eyes. She's looking in his eyes. He drinks the wine and throws down the cup. But then, see here, she looked down to blush, and she looked up to sigh, with a smile on her lips and a tear in her eye. Do you think she's over him? Not a chance. He took her soft hand ere her mother could bar, before her mamma could stop him. He says, "Now tread we a measure," said young Lochinvar. "Let's dance." So there's her mother. Before her mom can stop him, he grabs Ellen's hand, and they begin to dance. See anything about her husband? Nope. He's still hanging off in the corner. Anyway, you get to this stanza, and look what it says. "So stately his form, and so lovely her face." I mean, picture the most beautiful couple. Everybody is staring at them. It's like, wow. "That never a hall such a galliard did grace." You're talking about this beautiful portrait of people. "While her mother did fret, and her father did fume." Oh, Mama's worried. She's thinking, what is going on? And Dad's like, how dare he come into my house? And the bridegroom stood dangling his bonnet and plume. He's still in the corner. He's still hiding. But her bridesmaids, look at what they're saying. "Oh, 'twere be better by far to have matched our fair cousin with young Lochinvar." They're like, oh, he's so cute. She should have married him. But they're dancing. Everybody's watching, admiring them. One touch to her hand and one word in her ear, dancing around the room, when they reached the hall door, and the charger stood near. Charger, that's his horse. So light to the croup the fair lady he swung, so light to the saddle before her he sprung. Guys, they dance out the door. His horse is waiting right outside the door. He tosses her up, he jumps up behind her. She is won, we are gone over bank, bush, and scour. They'll have fleet steeds that follow, quoth young Lochinvar. They're running away together. She has just gotten married, obviously to someone she doesn't love because her daddy made her. He has taken her from her own reception. Here's your conclusion. There were mounting among Grahams of the Netherby clan, Forsters and Fenwicks and Musgraves, they rode and they ran. There was racing and chasing on Canopy Lee, that's a meadow in Scotland. But the lost bride of Netherby ne'er did they see. So daring in love and so dauntless in war, have you e'er heard of a gallant like young Lochinvar? They got away. They got to spend the rest of their life together. This is your happily ever after. Now, did it start the way it should have? Nope. He was too late. He was trying to get there to stop the wedding, but he couldn't do it. But did it matter to him that she was married? Nope, not at all. Did it matter to her that she was married? Not at all. He saved her. So again, this is your knight in shining armor, and the Lady Ellen was able to run away with him, and no one ever saw them again. So when you're looking at this, the whole idea of this is survival and the fight for love. All right? Could her daddy have killed him? Absolutely. If they had caught them, would they have killed him? Absolutely. But did he love her enough to risk his life to steal her away so they could live their lives together? Absolutely. And that's the happy ending of it. So when you're looking at conflict here, you're looking at man versus man, Lochinvar versus, Ellen's dad. But you're also looking at the fact that the whole idea here is lost love. They're trying to work this out, even though so many obstacles, like her dad and the whole clan, are standing in the way. But I think this is a great poem. This is, like I said, your knight in shining armor, your beautiful fair maiden, and even though there are problems all the way through up here where he's not going to make it, in the end, it doesn't really matter. All right, so when you get done, you can annotate the text. I'd like for you to go through and I want you to number your stanzas so that you can keep up with your line numbers. I do want you to go in and I want you to mark things like rhyme. I want you to mark things like alliteration. I want you to mark things like similes or metaphors. And I want you to be able to explain what is happening in this poem. Remember, your short constructed response on Friday comes from your understanding of this poem. So know the plot, know the conflict, know the resolution, be able to discuss what is happening. All right, guys, pretty easy one. Hope you can do it and hope you do well. Email me if you have any questions. See ya.